We spoke with Dr. Rob Steele, who is running for the District 15 seat up in Michigan against John Dingell before the primary. And now, who knows, maybe WSPD put him over the top because he is now the Republican candidate for that seat and joins us on the phone. Doctor, thanks for the time this morning. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Fred. And I think you're right. You got a lot of great listeners down there covering the Temperance, Bedford, and southern Monroe County. I think you're right. I think that did it. In Monroe County, actually, we outpolled the sitting congressman fairly dramatically, actually.
Awesome. And actually, the odd thing is I was talking to one of my relatives who works at the University of Michigan about you and found out that you're actually their doctor. So it's that 6 degrees of separation thing.
Well, that happens a lot. I've been in practice up here for 23 years, and so, I get to see and hear a lot of things that go on out in the community, and the one thing I can tell you is that, people aren't very happy about what's going on and are very concerned about the future.
Yeah, we've seen the change in Alaska and some other states in this last primary, this last election that just happened this past week. What's the sense that you're getting? Because I have a feeling that your fight's going to be just a little bit tougher. I mean, you're dealing with a guy who's been in office now for 55 years. There's an awful lot of people that are beholden to him for those giant oversized checks that he brings back into the district.
Yeah, well, the biggest bills he brings back into the district aren't those 2,800-page bills. It's the incredible tax liabilities he gives all these people to Michigan when they send their money out of state and never get it back. But yeah, it's going to be an uphill race. But I will say this: we just did our first poll on Sunday and Monday, and they were extremely favorable to us and put us, within just a couple of points with no name recognition, and then with just a couple of lines about my biography, actually put me ahead. And our professional poller out of Virginia is just getting that sent out and around. And no, it's going to be a competitive race because this is one time being there for 55 years. Just doesn't do it, and that's one of the things people are concerned about. They want to have someone like me who's, had a job, created some jobs, and, lived under the regular laws, hasn't been involved in politics, not beholden to the career special interests and the lobbyists like the career politicians are. Because, Fred, when you're a career politician, you measure your success one way and one way only. And that's not on solving problems. That's on getting reelected.
Yeah, if you can get reelected, you're doing your job right, but you're not doing the job you were elected for. We're talking with Dr. Rob Steele, who's running for the 15th district in Michigan, the seat currently held by John Dingell, who got it from his father and probably at some point was going to pass it along to his son or wife, I assume. We're speaking with Dr. Rob Steele, who is running for the 15th district up in Michigan. The seat currently held by John Dingell has been for, around 55 years now, ever since his father gave up the seat. It's going to be a tough fight. Dr. Rob has his work cut out for him, that's for sure. Are you out pressing the flesh at this point and getting your message out? How's that working for you?
Well, it's going well. Right now, obviously, people aren't paying attention in the media so much, as you know. But we're raising money and have we have a fantastic volunteer organization and a lot of excitement. Because people understand, right now that it's not time for the guy who created the problems to be the one to solve them. And it's kind of like in medicine, one of the first things you in the Hippocratic Oath, it's do no harm. And these guys pass these 2,800-page bills, and every day almost we learn about some new thing they didn't expect, which is a disaster. And so, that's one of the things we need to do is we need to have much shorter bills. They need to be targeted at one topic. And they need to be published online for a week before anybody gets to vote on them, so everybody knows what's in them, and everybody can figure out all these problems before they rush something through to try to get that re-election taken care of.
As a freshman congressperson, would you be willing to bring before the House a resolution or a bill that would repeal all or most of the Obamacare regulations?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the real way that'll happen is on the funding side because there's always a veto at the end of a repeal bill. But, the reason I'm interested in the House of Representatives is because of the crazy spending that's going on, taking our kids' and grandkids' money. And that's what people are starting to understand. And that's why the polls have me with just a couple of simple questions about spending ahead of the congressman. Because people realize, especially in southeast Michigan where the policies of the Democrats and Dingle have led to all these loss of auto jobs, and there's not fewer auto jobs in the United States. They just moved to different locations that are more business friendly.
Yeah, they've gone to other states. That's all. Now Conyers actually covers Detroit, doesn't he? What are the major cities that 15 district covers?
Well, it includes all of Monroe County, 100% of Monroe County, and includes 6 townships in Washtenaw, which heads up to Ann Arbor. So Ann Arbor is the very northwest corner. And then it cuts across southern Wayne, Brownstown, Flat Rock, Romulus, Huron.
Okay.
Sumter.
Okay, those
little
are
corner Dearborn.
Yeah, those are all places that we recognize. Have they lost just in that district alone? What's the unemployment situation been like?
Well, it's up in there in the 12% range, not quite as high as the city of Detroit, but of course we all know now that people have given up on jobs. They get their 99 weeks now, and it's interesting how many times I hear in the office, patients talking about their kids being on unemployment, and they say, well, they're not even looking for a job because they've got their opportunity on unemployment. And
yeah,
so
they know it's going to be there for a while. They're going to be getting that paycheck for some time. Now, as a doctor and having started your own practice and actually even more than your practice, hiring people, firing people, being in business for yourself, is that going to be a big focus of your campaign, the health care, or are you going to be focusing on the loss of jobs and the spending?
Well, the first thing, I think the key priority is spending, because the way we're spending now, we can't survive that. We've seen what's happened in Greece and what's happening in California and New Jersey, and we have just got to get spending under control for the government. I mean, people understand here in Southeast Michigan, they've worked hard, they've lost their job, they did nothing wrong. Now they can't pay their bills, they're losing their snowmobiles and their ATVs and their homes, and they realize all of a sudden that someone does have to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking that we're spending money, with these crazy spending bills that the congressmen are putting through, these career politicians trying to take care of their special interests, they're asking our grandkids to pay for it. And how, it's immoral, obviously.
Well, all right.
Spending and get some transparency. Have shorter bills. Let's know what's in them. Let's do no harm. Let's put a simple cover sheet on the front of every bill. You know how you get your property tax bill? It lists all the lines where
Absolutely,
all the money's going. Tell us where the money's coming from. Tell us where the money's going. Give us one page on the front that gives us a financial summary of what's going on there.
Boy, if you could just convince the rest of the representatives to do that much, that would be a coup. You'd go down in history for just that one. Dr. Rob Steele is running for the 15th district in Michigan. The seat currently held by Dingle. And Michigan, of course, is suffering from huge unemployment, up to 14%, 12% in some places, and there doesn't seem to be a cure for it. And certainly Mr. Dingle, who was in Congress all this time and helped cause the problem, doesn't have a cure. So, Doctor, we'll be following the campaign, and hopefully we'll talk to you again before November sometime.
Yeah, everybody just needs to hit my website, which is Rob Steele for Congress. That's forcongress.com, and we've got a lot of fun and interesting data on our Facebook page. In fact, we just put up a real neat little video about the debt coming from a great organization, bankrupting.org. But Rob Steele for Congress, get plugged in down there, and we'll go ahead and help stop this crazy spending. Make Congress read the bills. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it's a good website. We'll put a link up on my page so that people can get to it. Rob Steele, Steele for Congress.com. Doctor, have a great weekend. Get out there and say hi to some folks.
You betcha. Thanks so much, Fred. Appreciate it.
Yep.